Hey everyone, welcome to episode 35 of the famous Pipe Smoker Friday show. And hey, how you doing, Amo? How's it coming along? Are you starting to look different? Stash definitely changes the way that you look. Anyway, in this episode, we celebrate and remember a foe, a coach, a grumpy old man, the great late Burgess Meredith. Burgess Meredith was born Oliver Burgess Meredith on November 16th, 1907 in Cleveland, Ohio. He was an American actor and director who, in a career that spanned nearly 7 decades, played a diverse range of characters on the stage, on television, and in film. Meredith attended Amherst College but left before graduating. He subsequently held a variety of jobs, notably working as a reporter and a merchant seaman. Before pursuing an acting career, then in 1929, he became an unpaid apprentice with, and hopefully I'll pronounce this correctly, Eva Legalian's Civic Repertory Company in New York City. The following year, he made his stage debut in Romeo and Juliet, and he achieved great success in 1935 as Mio in the Maxwell Anderson play Winterset. He reprised the role for the 1936 film version, which was his first credited screen appearance. After notable stage performances in High Tor in 1937 and Lilium in 1940, he served as a captain in the U.S. Army Air Forces during World War II. He returned to acting after the war in plays that included The Playboy of Western World, which came out in 1946, Major Barbara, and I Was Dancing in 1964. Meredith also directed a number of Broadway productions, notably A Thunder Carnival in 1960, for which he received a special Tony Award, as well as James Baldwin's Blues for Mr. Charlie in 1964 and Ulysses in Nightown in 1974, for which he earned a Tony Award nomination. During this time, Meredith made numerous film appearances. He had memorable roles as George Milton in Of Mice and Men in 1939, an adaptation of John Steinbeck's classic novella, and as Ernie Pyle in The Story of G.I. Joe in 1945, which, for those 80s babies like me, not the same G.I. Joe. Meredith also wrote and starred in Jean Renoir's The Diary of a Chambermaid in 1946, a romantic drama that featured his third wife, Paulette Goddard. His film career stalled in the 1950s, however, when his liberal views drew the ire of U.S. Senator Joseph McCarthy and the House Un-American Activities Committee. His blacklisting eased with his roles in several Otto Preminger films, thank goodness, including Advice and Consent, which came out in 1962. In 1975, Meredith appeared in The Day of the Locust, for which he received his first Academy Award nomination. He garnered a second Oscar nod for his portrayal of a cantankerous boxing training in Rocky in 1976. The film was a blockbuster, and Meredith appeared in several sequels. Later, many of his movies included Grumpy Old Men in 1993 and Grumpier Old Men in 1995. Meredith also directed the films The Man on the Eiffel Tower, which came out in 1950, and The Yin and Yang of Mr. Go in 1970, the latter of which he wrote. In addition to his work on stage and screen, Meredith was a staple character actor in American television. He appeared in such series as Rawhide, and these are mostly westerns, Bonanza, oh, one of my dad's favorites, and The Virginian. And he was cast in numerous TV movies, notably Tail Gunner Joe in 1977. The latter was a biopic about McCarthy, and Meredith gave an Emmy Award-winning performance as Army lawyer Joseph Welch, who famously asked the senator, "Have you no sense of decency?" At long last, have you left no sense of decency? Not as great an actor as Meredith, obviously. However, Meredith was perhaps best known for his role as the villainous penguin in the 1960s TV series Batman. The character brought him renewed popularity as well as a much younger fan base, and he reprised the role for the 1960s film version. Meredith developed his grunting penguin laugh out of necessity. He had given up smoking some 20-odd years earlier, but his character was required to smoke with a cigarette holder. The smoke would get caught in his throat and he would start coughing. And rather than constantly ruining takes, he developed the laugh to cover it up. Actually, it was a pretty funny noise for a penguin to make, he said. I sounded more like a duck. Anyways, Meredith gave up smoking again immediately after the series ended. Burgess Meredith also did a large amount of commercial work, serving as the voice for Skippy Peanut Butter and United Airlines, among others. He was also an ardent environmentalist who believed pollution as one of the greatest strategies of all time, and an opponent of the Vietnam War. In 1994, Burgess Meredith published his autobiography, So Far, So Good. Unfortunately, Burgess Meredith died at age 89 of Alzheimer's disease and melanoma in his home in Malibu, California on September 9, 1997. Well, all right, my friends. That's it for this episode. My thanks to Britannica.com and IMDb for the bio. And thank you so much for watching. Were you like me and you were first introduced to Burgess Meredith as the evil penguin in the Batman 69 series? Or did you first meet him as Mickey in Rocky? And I actually had forgotten that he was in Grumpy Old Men. Oops. Anyways, let me know in the comments. Let's have a conversation. And if you're growing that mustache, keep doing it for November. I'm glad that you're doing it. And as always, if you like this episode, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel so that you'll be up to date with all other episodes of the Famous Spy Smoker Friday Show, as well as my movie reviews and any of my other video programming. Please follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at the El Magnifico. And until next time, may God bless you all. So long. Thanks for all the fish. Ciao.